Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the World Championship Racing race here in Azerbaijan. I'm Ben Ragan McConnell, and joining me on the caster's bench is Jamie M. Caster Elder. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. But we have a full 20 driver grid,
Yeah.
and someone is feeling confident.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to leave you a slight bit to see who you think that might be.
Is it the guy that's got his name called Try Harding?
No,
No.
actually,
Oh, okay. Well, the King of China is in the wrong place, so
he
it's not
is.
going to be him. I thought it was an animal running across the track and it's a bit of dust. I don't know. Who's trying their hardest?
It might be WCR Rick with the hashtag easy win.
His name's different for me.
Ah,
It says Try
well,
Harding for me.
you must have added that. Oh, okay, then, yeah, that must be him then. So, let's recap. Last week we were in China, and Drake Bell self-proclaimed himself the king of China.
Yep.
Quite an interesting race. But you've gone from China, which has got a lot of sort of higher dynamic, long streaming corners, to Baku, where the only long streaming corners are what we call ping and pong.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's the second longest track on the circuit at just over 6 kilometres. 20 corners. Some are actual corners, some are sort of kinks, but they're officially corners. Several in particular are going to catch people out. So, just mentioned ping pong. So that's your turns 17, 18, and 19. Coming around the last few, well, obviously the last few corners onto the long home straight. Particularly, that's going to catch you out if you've got wing damage. We are going to see people crash there. It's safe to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, yes, like you say, if you're running the wrong style wings, then yeah, that will cause you, if you got wing damage, sorry, that will cause you to be struggling through that series. But also, if your ballast is just a touch too high and you put down a little bit too much power, you can really lose it going through that little series of corners. But just before anybody starts putting a lap time in, we need to do the predictions. So, who do you predict to be P1, 2, and 3?
I'm going to go with our current championship leader to take P1, so that's Brownie.
Okay.
Kind of boring, I know. Astro Boys P2, not Speedy. I'm not sure whether that has happened.
That must be a ping pong, surely.
And P3 is Rick.
So P1 was Brownie, P2 is Astro Boys, and P3 is Rick, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So, I've been hearing from Rick quite a fair bit recently. Oh, yep, there he is. That was where Speedy lost it. He lost it in ping pong. As we were saying, if your setup isn't quite right and you make a slight mistake, that will put you in the wall. So anyway, just go back to what I was saying. So Astro Boys, I've been talking to him a fair bit lately. He is very nervous today. Baku is not a track he has ever been very comfortable on.
No, so you got inside information here. I don't get this.
Yeah. You're the stats man because you know the stuff on the track about the cars and the tracks. I'm the guy who knows things about people. All right. So I'm not gonna put Astro Boys in the top 3. I am gonna go with. It's a tough one. It's a really tough one.
Yeah, and tyres are going to play huge on this.
Yeah, they really are, especially Strag. But Drake Bell P1.
The King of China, sorry, get it right.
King of China P1. Ferraris P2.
Oh.
And Brownie P3.
Okay.
Wait, actually, switch up the second and third. I want Brownie P2 and Ferraris P3.
Okay, interesting.
Ferrari just has a lot of pace about him that I haven't seen in some of the other drivers. Obviously, he's not the fastest driver ever, but he has the potential to put down some incredible pace. He just doesn't.
Oh, he's retired already. That must be first corner. He's just set a time. I'm on board with Rick as he's coming around to complete his final lap, so we'll get a good shot of him. His lap is 5 seconds slower, and he's retired already. So, yeah, I think he's starting close to the back.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional. There you go, Rick putting a 1:39.5.
There he is.
I was thinking about Slash.
He's there in front of Rick. Was if there in front of Rick. He's just kept going.
Drake Bell, looking strong already. Already putting in a smashing time. I'm going to see on my second pick here how's Ferrari's doing. Currently coming through ping and pong. It looks pretty stable. Actually, it looks really quite smooth. But don't predict this to be a...
No.
Well, already look way out.
He's on the softs.
140.3. He is, but if you look at Rick, who was also on the softs, it was 139.5, so you expect a bit more out of him. Obviously, it is still early stage. He's only had 5.5 minutes of this session so far, so there's still a lot for these drivers to learn on, the track to develop a bit more, setups obviously can't be tweaked, quite firm, but you can still change your front wing a little bit. Maybe your brake bias if you really want to. You can do that on your actual dash anyway. But who do we check out next? Have a look.
Black Reverse is just about to finish. It's coming around corner 20.
That wing open. Not quite.
No, he's going to be fair off.
Oh, 140.0. Okay, so not too bad. Again, non-soft, sir.
Yeah, I say he's way off. He's not really way off. On board with Chris down in the Toro Rosso. He's just going to turn 3 right now, so he's definitely gone round.
Yeah, he spun right round. He's currently reversing on track.
He's trying to find somewhere to actually turn, and this track isn't wide.
That was the perfect time to check out Chris.
Yeah.
For a moment there, that was like watching Austin Powers, you know, the bit where he's stuck in the corridor.
Might be worth keeping an eye on him as he goes towards Castle. He might get that wrong. He might get baby ping pong wrong, and he might get actual ping pong wrong. So we could see a little crash here.
Yeah, we could. And looking at the state of that left wing, I wouldn't be surprised if Castle is where he loses it. Although he is being pretty delicate.
Well, all it takes is a little nudge, especially on that curb, to send you into the other way.
Oh, I thought he was going off there.
No, he's taking this very easily.
Well, I'm going to take a look at Mr. Zox.
I'll say that he's just
on a flyer.
He has just given the wall a good clout, as Chris.
Ah, good man.
I'll stay with Chris. You go Zoxon. I'll join you in a moment.
Well, Zoxon is just going around turn 4. Looking pretty smooth. Doesn't look like it's the quickest lap that's existed, but it is pretty smooth overall. Sticking within the lines nicely.
Oh, he survived.
Mr. Zoxon is actually one of them sort of drivers who he's not someone whose name everyone shouts about, but he is quietly consistent.
Yeah, he was 9th last time out in China, 10th in Bahrain, 7th in Australia, so he's got the points. He just needs to upgrade these points and get top 5, push for the podiums. And I think this is a great place for some of the lower down people to get a podium, to get a good haul of points, because we're going to see people drop like flies. And it's going to give opportunities to anyone and everyone.
Well, we've done predictions on the top 3 for the qualifying. I mean, we're a bit premature, but how many drivers do you think will actually make it to the end of the race?
This is the prediction I wanted. I don't want to predict who gets 1, 2, 3. I want to predict the amount of finishers.
Go on then.
And DNFs include disconnectors. Just to make clear on this. We're going to have 8 finishers. Actual people driving.
So 12 crash out?
Yeah.
I think that many people are going to survive.
4 in the first lap.
Oh, okay. How many turn 1?
Turn 1's not that bad, it's turn 2.
It depends if you're on the inside.
Well, depends where, yeah. I can't say. Because I reckon Castle's going to claim at least 1 on the opening lap.
So, I am also going to go pretty low. Oh, I lost another one.
Sector 2.
If it's anything to go by like this, I reckon that we're going to be sat at like 6 drivers at the end of this.
You're going big.
Yeah, I really don't think we're going to have that many drivers at the end. It's a 50% race on Baku. Is not exactly the easiest setting to go through. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of these drivers are really quite good drivers. It's just, it only takes a small lapse in concentration for you to be buried in a wall somewhere.
This is like Monaco's evil twin.
Yeah, and the thing is, Monaco is actually... the reason why Baku, I'd say, is worse than Monaco is simply because, at face value, Baku does not look anywhere near as difficult as Monaco is. And I would honestly say that Monaco is a harder track to drive around. But it really Baku really plays on your confidence. Like, you think, oh yeah, I'm really quick here. I can put my foot down. I can be a little bit more aggressive here. And then all of a sudden, you're in the wall dead.
And the speeds are much higher as well, so that those incidents you have will cause more damage. Right, so who are we watching? Brownie's still in the pits. That's an interesting move.
Just jumped on board with Meta as he's currently on another flight. This time he's on supers.
So, next question for you. We're going away with who's going to win. Who's going to be the first driver out?
Speedy. No, I'm just kidding. He only because he did it today. Oh man, I don't know. See, Games Mirror is someone who is really, really quick, but Mr. Mouse is someone who can be quick, but gets caught up in a lot of issues. So, looking at how he went for Chris on that turn 3, my gut feeling says go with Chris. I think he's going to be the first one out, but I honestly don't know. I think it can literally be any of these drivers. Like, that's nothing to say that Chris is a bad driver by any means of the word. It's just, you know, he already looks like, of all the drivers that are on track right now, he's the one who looks like he's struggling the most. Despite the fact that we've got 4 DNFers.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's going to be in the wall.
It could be anyone. It could be the Drake Bell starting P1. He gets a little shunt from someone starting 6 or 7, going down the inside, gets it a bit wrong, takes him out and pushes him into the wall. Or it could just be the guy at the back who's just leisurely going round and clips the wall and sends himself into the thing. But I'm going for someone who's DNF'd in 2 races so far, and I believe the only one in this race... Oh no, sorry, there's 2 people who have DNF'd twice so far. I'm going for Mark Nicky.
Okay. Okay.
The other person to DNF twice is Black Reverse.
See, the next... Oh, that was a clout. I was just watching Drake Bell at the minute as he's
okay.
flying.
Oh, with Brownie's on an outlap, so it might be worth switching over to him.
Yeah, let's do that then. Well, if he's on an outlap, we may as well
No,
wait
he's
until
about to... He's doing the ping pong. Well, he should be doing the ping pong. He's going very slow on the approach to ping pong.
I'm on board with Chris.
He's just gone past Brownie.
So yeah, just going back to what we were saying. So, right next to Chris in my prediction of who would actually crash out first, I would have gone Astro Boys just because of what we talked about. Yeah, honestly, just purely based on what we had, the conversation that me and him had yesterday and today. I really don't think he's gonna. I mean, he's up there in the minute in P3, but you know, when it comes to race setting, when you've got all that fuel on board and you've got the fresh tires, you really got to put your foot down to make sure you're battling hard. You also got to be really aware of all the cars around you. I just think it's going to take that slight bit too much pressure, and then into the wall he goes. But you know, the thing is, he's the same sort of person you can't count out. You know, if you look at Hazard as another driver from another racing league, he is someone I counted out and regretted it afterwards because he just, you know, at the moment when he looked the weakest, he actually turned out to be one of the strongest on the track. So, yeah, it's...
Just look at the gap at the top, is huge.
Yeah, it's just increased as well, 136.9.
So yeah, I mean, Astros has put it on the podium twice in these 3 races we've had so far. Currently leading the championship is Brownie. He's been on the podium every single race. 3rd, 1st, 3rd. However, the current leaders of the constructors are Renault, with Rick and Rainbow. Now, Rainbow's not someone who scores a lot of points, but he's finished, and that's what matters. Yeah. Rick's also picked up a win and 2 sixths. So there's a good showing there from Renault, and they're going to hope to obviously pick up a few more points here. This race is going to feel very much like a battle royale. You just got to survive.
Yeah, absolutely. Do everything you can to survive. If that means taking your teammate out, Yeah. Oh wait, that's the wrong game. Sorry.
That's only me and you.
Yeah.
That is a
Just
very slow time
in
for
terms
Brownie.
of the construct. What was that? 1.15, and that's on super soft as well. We've seen softs go faster than that.
Yeah.
Just on the topic of constructors' standings, as you were earlier. Obviously, Renault are leading. What is P2 at the minute?
P2 is. Hang on. Don't want to press this because
I
it'll
imagine
tabs.
it's going to be Haas.
I believe it's.
Either that or Sauber.
I think it's. Hang on. Sorry, I've got it all up. Haas is currently in P2. P3, there's a slight error on the sheet, and it is actually the Red Bull, then Sauber.
Okay. See, I mean, if you look at Sauber, apart from the fact that Fish is actually DNF, but they've both had some relatively good placings. Astro Boy's, he has the pace. We've seen it in a few races now. Maybe I spoke a little bit too soon.
Or maybe he says that'll do.
He has the pace to go straight into the wall.
Well, you watched
I don't
him.
think that was. No, I didn't. But I imagine maybe I just jumped to conclude. Well, there's a wing there. Look, so I'm on board with Brownie as
Yeah.
he's coming through, and I just saw a wing buried in the start. So I'm going to assume now that these are not drivers crashing out. These are drivers retiring because it's getting near the end of the session. A lot of people are going to want to start on this super soft compound.
Actually, Brownie's going to start right down there because he's not going to get another lap in. I haven't said that. He is looking like he's going again, but his red fuel is on.
And his ERS is minimal.
Yeah.
Well, he improved. He did improve.
Oh, he did?
It was
Okay.
at 140, but it's only put him up to P14. He's not really jumped that many places. And he did look like he was giving it everything. It just wasn't enough. But someone who is giving it everything right now is Rick, who is on a flyer. Oh, there's a bin car. Let you see that?
Nope, I'm now just on board with Rick. There's going to be a fair few now.
Red Bull. That was facing the wrong direction, but Slash LP retiring as well. That was just a normal retirement. There was no yellow flag anywhere. Yeah. Sector 1 yellow flag. But let's keep an eye on Rick as he's coming through the second sector at the minute. Looking pretty smooth.
He's on the supers.
Hasn't really had any issues. Is he the only person who can pit Drake Bell at the top spot? Because Drake Bell's not going to get another lap in.
He's on the slower tyre, and that is a massive gap that he's got to close. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a 37.3.
I don't even want to guess this one. I've guessed a couple on this track and I've never got it right.
Assume that hasn't just invalidated it.
Well, I'm going to... Yeah, the way he's driving would suggest he hasn't invalidated, but
yeah,
that might have invalidated it.
How is he still
going?
Is that a kiss the wall as well?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it looked like a bump of the wall. Well, here he comes down the home straight. We've already had Drake Bell finish. He is currently provisional pole, but is this going to be changed? Nope, it is not a 138.2. It is a 2/10 increase, but not anywhere near enough to beat Drake Bell. Drake Bell looked so quick. Is Gamesmere going to be the driver who can make a difference? He's also coming into the second sector as well.
He's got the tyres. Yeah, in the middle of the second sector, turn 5 and 6. So coming up to the castle now.
This is such a great little sector here. It's terrifying, but when you pull it off, it is so fun.
That's not putting it off.
That was a kiss of the wall. But he's still going. He hasn't actually got any wing damage somehow. That car's made of something special, that's for sure. But is it going to have impacted his time? Because I imagine it would have slowed him down quite a lot. It was quite a whack.
Ooh, I thought he was going to go into the wall there. Really rode that curb.
Tactical.
I think he'll improve. Assuming he hasn't picked up damage from that kiss at the wall at Castle.
And he will actually be the only driver besides Drake Bell in the sort of top 8 really that's on ultra softs. Obviously Mr. Zoxon is the other one as well in P9. But yeah, it's a 139.1, 137.8 P2. 2 of the ultra soft tyres in P1 and 2. Rick, who is still half a tenth down, half a second down, sorry, between Gamesmer and him. And the gap between him and Ferraris is actually pretty close. So I got P1 correct. I got P2. Who did I say was going to be P2?
I think you had Ferraris in there.
P3 was Ferraris, but I got that wrong anyway.
Was Rick
Who did I say was going to be P2? Oh, Rainbow, that was it. Who is down in 17th.
Yeah. I think we just write this one off. This was terrible. I had Brownie doing well, and yeah.
I mean, you could argue that it is a potential that they're just going for setups.
Yeah.
You
it
know,
could be a wet
sorry.
race.
I mean, you wouldn't go out on softs if it was going to be, and you wouldn't do super softs if it was going to be a wet race.
Well,
it could be that it's going to have wet.
Depends where, yeah.
Because if the rain's going to come towards the middle, towards the end, then that would make sense for these drivers to start on the super softs. But we'll have to,
that's a big crash.
I was just going to say that was a clout and a half. And there you have it. That is the end of the qualifying session. So Drake Bell looking really dominant here, as well as he did in China actually. And wow, that session was interesting.
Yeah,
it wasn't as close as I would have expected it to have been.
Well, it's
There
worth
was a lot of DNFs.
It's worth noticing Astro Boys is starting on the softs in 5th.
Look at the gaps though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the closest battle really is sort of P3 down to P6. Then it gets a little bit close between sort of P7 and P9, P10 really.
So I've just picked up some information from the Red Bull engineers. Brownie isn't Brownie. This is the reserve Brownie. So it's a different person. Obviously, the Brownie we know has a 0 in his name. So little caught out there. So oh well.
Well, that ruined our predictions a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, we should have noticed that, but well, you drive the same car with the same name, we instantly assume
that it's the same guy.
Yeah.
Alright, well, now that you know that Brownie is not Brownie, and now you've seen qualifying, what's your prediction for the end of the race, the podium?
I thought we were just sticking to how many finishes. That sounded more fun to me.
Well, I mean, we got to do that as well, but we also need to know who's going to get the podium. I'll go first. So, Drake Bell looks too dominant to not be in P1, and no one else seems to be able to keep up with his pace. I think he's going to make it to P1. I think Rick, if he can keep it out of the wall, I think he's going to get P2. But then P3 is sort of anyone's game, really. Gamesmer is quick, but it did take a lot for him to get to that point in the first place, which makes me think he's not going to get onto the podium today. I could be wrong, but you know what? I'm gonna regret this.
Are you going bold?
I'm gonna go Astro Boys P3.
Ah. See,
I know that he DNF'd in qualifying, and I know that this isn't a confident track for him. But I just have that feeling that once he's in the groove, he's gonna be okay.
See, my initial thought was Astro Boys P1. It might not be his favourite track, but he looked good at qualifying. But I'm going bold in all 3 positions because I don't think this is predictable in the slightest. One mistake and it's your race over. I say bold, it's not massively bold. Black Reverse P1, followed by Ferraris, followed by Slash.
Wow, you don't think any of the top 3 are going to stay in the podium?
I don't think any of the top 3 are going to finish.
Oh, wow, okay. So Black Reverse P1.
Ferraris, then Slash.
Ferraris wow, okay. That's quite a swap around. Black Reverse would have to have a miracle run. I mean, the thing is, he's in the danger zone because he's literally almost bang slap in the middle of the grid. So it's kind of like he's got a lot of cars that are going to hit him in the back if they make a mistake, and it's a hard thing for him to do.
I'm just going big and bold here because it's Baku. I mean, I've lost it on the last lap of this track while in the podium position. Anyone can do just lose it at 1 point. All it takes is just get your foot down ever so slightly here, too soon, you're in the wall. You've lost the wheel.
Yeah.
And I honestly think battling for P1 is what's going to cost Drake Bell this race.
So, assuming that this is going to be a dry race the entire race, which we are of the opinion that it's not going to be, but obviously we don't know. Assuming it is going to be a dry race, what is the best strategy?
Supers followed by softs. Ultras don't
Okay.
even figure in it
How
unless you're
long do
going
you
two
reckon
stop.
they'll last? So, like 6 or 7 laps?
So the ultras, yeah. I mean, 6 laps if you do well.
Oh,
8
wow.
if you do really well. But considering they've had to qualify on these, they're going to fall off so quickly.
Yeah.
But we'll
They
talk
do have
about
to
more of
put a
that
lot
in a
in.
moment, shall we? I think we've got
We
something
will
to do now.
indeed. As all cars are on the track and the lights have just gone out, there's a little delay, but it looks like the Haas has got a really good start. Gamesbury also matching that as well, and Ferrari's going to look down
Contact.
the inside. Ferrari's actually facing sideways, and he's currently in front of. Is that another Haas driver?
Slash LP.
That was your P2, I believe. Oh, Fish is disconnected. That doesn't look good for him, but so far so good. Everybody's
Spinning
looking
at the back. I think Bolo's
nice.
spun. Yeah, Bolo spun. Astro
Look at
Boys.
all these penalties, ignoring yellow flag,
I think there's a lot there.
Yeah, so Bolo really lost out there. Fish is actually disconnected and he's just rejoined now.
Chris has had a spin. He's still
in
going
the
there.
same place we saw it in
It is
qualifying.
as well.
It's the exact same place. But we need to go back to the front of the grid because that's where everything's happening. Look at Mr. Zoxon and Astro Boys as they're coming into the corner just before Castle. 310 separates them. I don't expect to see any sort of overtake here, but
no.
It's going to be. Usually there's a build-up of cars there. I want to keep an eye on that, actually. Especially since we're seeing collisions already, turn 1, turn 2. I'm not seeing anyone. No one's actually crashed there.
No, everyone got through quite cleanly. Chris, however, hasn't got through very cleanly. He's given him the wall a good cloud, but he still was going.
So I was right. Called it.
Yeah. Different corner, though.
Yeah. Alright, listen, I still called it.
Yeah, alright. Oh, Brownie's picking up a bit of damage.
Left side or right side?
Right side, clousing the wall outside of turn 15 is taken by Bolo.
Which is quite a miracle. Oh, look at that, the Fish has just lost the back end, facing the wrong direction.
Mr. Mouse has no front wing left whatsoever. So he's going to limp round. Yep. So, pits. Games mirror in. Bolo, I think, might be coming in. Browning's staying out.
Games coming in from a P2 as well. That's quite disastrous. That's pretty horrific. Are you going to
That's
go
front wing.
onto the softs?
He's going supers.
What, another set? Oh, because he did it on ultras, didn't he, in the first place. So yeah, he's on supers. So but Drake Bell got away cleanly. He actually got away without any
more contact on Ferrari. Sorry to interrupt you there. Black Reverse and Ferrari's coming together, going into turn 3 there. I think Mitre is right on the rear of these two, hoping to find a little way past.
I wonder if Team Orders are going to play factor here. Meta obviously really close to the back end of Black Reverse. He is his teammate. But the way that Meta actually looks like he's driving, I don't think he's actually got the pace to even try and catch up.
No.
Mark Nicky's closing in slowly. Obviously, again, this isn't a place for you to be doing any sort of overtakes, but that doesn't mean that they will not try.
Speedy past Rainbow. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. Speedy and Rainbow trying to go side by side into Castle. Obviously, the one that's in front gets through first.
Or they both crash out, whichever happens.
Well, yeah. 2 into 1 don't go.
No, they really don't. But 1 into 1 is still Drake Bell. He's leading everything from the get-go. Obviously nailed in qualifying really early on. He wasn't being hindered at all. But just want to point out that Astro Boys is actually still really quite close to Stark, who's in the Mercedes. And,
there we go. Mark Nicky's gone.
That's 2.
Well, you got the first one, I got the second one, so we weren't far out.
And it is in ping pong as well.
Yeah, I was on board with him as he was doing it.
Oh, wow.
I think it's just destabilised by the wake in front.
JJS, so obviously DRS has just been enabled now that lap 3 has just clicked past. JJS is really close to the back end of Meta. We're actually going to see a bit of slipstream down here and a wing open. Is he going to be able to get the power down enough to close in? I don't think he is. He looks like he's actually really quite far back. I don't know if he thinks his tyres and brakes are overcooked or not, but he switched out there just to try and cool him down. It didn't look like it really benefited him that much. Although Astro Boys keeping a close eye on him because, like I said earlier, he's not confident on this track, and with him being the only driver in the top 10 except for speeders on soft, for him to be able to keep up with the drivers in the supers and I guess sort of the ultras, he's not that far behind Drake Bell, and he's actually leading Zoxon, who is on ultras, by 2 seconds almost.
So the strategy, obviously, with softs is to go as long as you can. So if you're going to go for super softs after, you're probably going to stop at about 14. If you can really make them last 18, 19, then you'll be coming in for the ultras. But ultras only last 8 laps, and if you come in at lap 18, you'll be doing 8 laps on them. So a bit of a risk there.
And if you're doing what Astro Boys is currently doing, which is hunting down drivers like Stark on the home straight,
Ferraris as well on Zoxon.
He's actually going to make this pass happen. Ferraris is side by side with him. Astro Boys is now up into P3. There's a podium for him. Ferraris is just slightly ahead of Zoxon, but this doesn't fare well for him because now, when it comes into the next DRS straight, he's actually going to be under a lot of threat. And if he doesn't take that corner nicely, which he just didn't, I think he may.
Couple of new wings going on.
Yeah. And then one of them's your race winner.
Yeah, I'm not feeling very confident about that now.
I mean, you did say yourself it was quite out there.
Yeah.
Has Stark got an issue? Stark looks like he's really struggling. He lost P3 to Astro Boys, and now he's just lost P4 to Ferraris, and he's about to lose P5 to Zoxon if he carries on at this rate.
Just trying to say, I don't think he's got any front wing damage there. Just must have made a little mistake.
It looked like a hell of a mistake.
So I don't remember Ferrari's been that close to Astro Boys anyway. So maybe they came together.
Well, yeah, because look at the gap between Rick and Astro Boys.
Yeah.
I highly doubt that Rick has pulled out a 5-second gap between him and Astro Boys. So it looks like there was actually a bit of collision between the two of them. We lost another driver, Mr. Mouse.
JJS has just reset himself at Castle. He's picked up a little bit of damage for us. Oh, a lot of damage.
That is an entire wing gone.
So, good luck to him.
Pit.
And good luck to Bolo.
Oh, I thought that JJS was going to go in the wall. Right, Drake Bell in the pits. 4 laps in on these ultra softs.
That is early.
That is very early. But, like we say, there is a suspicion that the rain is going to come sort of mid-race.
Well, if there is rain.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If we do think that there is going to be rain sort of mid-race. The weatherman hasn't checked in today. But I do predict that there is going to be rain sort of, I reckon, around about lap 18, lap 90, maybe even lap 20.
So that's an interesting call from Drake Bell, though, to go on to the supers.
Yeah. How long do you think the supers will go?
15, 16 laps. Not to the end. I mean, the softs won't go to the end either, but
I honestly believe that there is going to be rain.
I think he's going to have to double supers from that point.
Well, there was a switch up on the podium, which is Ferraris has now moved into P2. And I'm almost certain I called that, didn't I? Didn't I say it was going to be sub P2?
I called it.
What did I say it was going to? Oh, no, I called it in qualifying.
Yeah.
I just called it a bit too early.
So mine was Black Reverse, Ferraris, slash. My 1 and 3 are currently 12th and 14th, so I'm not too confident about that one.
Well, I did say Astro Boys P3, which is currently existing. Yeah.
Well, my initial thought was Astro Boys could take the win here. Starting on the softs, he looked good. And he's going to get nowhere if he does that.
That was a bit of a tail swift. Actually, look at Drake Bell down there on Meta GSL. That was almost a collision between the two of them. Drake Bell is very close to the back end of the Williams. Let's see if he can get the slipstream before the DRS section. Alright, now at this point he's actually starting to close in. Gained enough performance. The wing will be open, and interestingly he's not using his overtake button, so he's leaving himself vulnerable to the slipstream and DRS feature for the next straight.
Well, if you think you've got the pace, you might as well go for it. You don't need to worry about using your ERS.
Yeah.
Now you dump it all here if you can. But again, he's got enough pace that Meta can't even close in, even with DRS, he's falling back.
But he's slowly closing it, but it's nowhere
But,
near enough to
yeah.
capitalise on it.
In front of them, Zoxon and Sturk are getting close. Zoxon on these ultras, he's doing 5 laps, so he's going well. And they still seem to have grip.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I was looking for grip, it looks like he's...
It looks fine.
You see the back end kicked out a bit there.
No more than anywhere else.
To manage it. Oh, that was almost a wall that Stark just hit.
This guy have to be careful.
He's going to go for it. Hey,
yeah.
Very, very wise to back out there. But it's actually quite smart what Zoxon did, because if you make it look like you're going for the dive, you force the other driver to go defensive. And if they go defensive a bit too much and they're so distracted...
Oh, he's just lost place to the Drake Bell.
Where did he?
I think Zoxon's tyres have just hit the cliff. They've just fallen off like no tomorrow.
Oh, Meta just hit the wall. But he's okay.
Yeah, I'll go back to what you're saying about making it look like you're going for a dive. Castle's probably not the place to go for it. If you make it look like you're going to make a dive... Oh, got helicopter cam on Drake Bell.
Yeah, me too.
If you're going to look like you make a dive, Castle, as I say, is not the place to do it. Because what happens is that guy might crash and the car might not ghost in time and you're out. It is a huge risk to take. I mean, if you just hit them the second they've crashed, which is going to happen, Drake Bell still not past them, it could end your race. So by all means do it at places like this, turn 2 or 3 or whatever. Don't do it at Castle, because that could cost you.
That you want to cost them some wing, right? But you want to make sure that they do it themselves and not that you push them into a wall. So you going for a sort of dive attempt is all mind games. If they over defend and they actually end up in the wall, then that's going to cause you to, so they're going to hit the wall. They're going to have some wing damage. That means you can just slip on by a little bit, as long as you don't actually get blocked across the entire road. Yeah. Which is a very likely thing to happen. But your provisional race leader is right on the back end of Zoxon.
Zoxon's just come out of the pits. I think he might lose this one. He's got to get these tyres to switch on. Lovely cold softs he's got on. He might be able to go to the end. He should be able to go to the end on these. This guy should really nurse them.
The thing about this sort of track is it's very heavy on the rears in terms of tyre wear, because the differential, most drivers opt for a more locked differential, which means that the wheels spin a lot when it comes to trying to get the power down, because obviously you're going to need to. You've got a lot of long straights where you're going to need to put the foot down and get as much pace as you can if you want to try A, defending, and B... Oh, black reverse! He's at the wall! Oh. That's your race leader out! Huge! I honestly think that was just a ballast.
Oh, speed! He's clouted the wall as well. Battling with his teammate Blackbird, they literally just dove past him. So, yeah. Oh, Speed's retired.
Wow.
I don't think that's down at turn 16. I don't think that's a crash. I think that's a, oh damn it, I've pressed Alt F4 crash. No, that isn't where he crashed. That's not where he retired. He retired at turn 16.
Interesting either way.
But Sturk is on the rear of Meta. Let's have a look.
It's going to be a difficult one for him to read. Oh, we lost Fish. So that's already 6 drivers out already, even as with 14 to play with. We're already heading like we're on track. I actually think I might be right. I said 6, right? 6 remaining.
I said 8.
Let's see. But my my Astra boys, my pocket pick is staying strong. I don't want to jinx it, but I mean he's 11.5 seconds behind Prix.
Yeah, he needs to start bringing that gap down. That's what he really does need to do. Oh, I'm still on board with Sturk here, battling it out, just jumping over curbs left, right and centre.
That's one of the main ways to actually lose wings is when you hit that curve, because the quickest way to get through, if you want to do the fastest lap time, is to try and mount that curve. You will need soft suspension in order to do it. But if you have your suspension setting just one setting too high, you will literally just bounce off it and over into the wall.
Yeah, it's not something you want to do.
Start going for a potential dive. No. He fell back. But he used a lot of ERS there, and he's actually injured himself quite a fair bit now because he's only got 21%. And this next straight is a DRS zone. Yes, he's going to have a slipstream and the DRS available to him, but now he's not going to have hardly any ERS to play with.
But Mesa hasn't got that much more, so he's on 20%, so they're about the same.
Sometimes it's better to slipstream and someone else with the DRS as well, and then just leave your ERS charging as you're driving. So just simply so that when he comes to the next zone, obviously they're going to use a lot of ERS to try and counter the DRS that you've used. But that means that when it comes to the next lap and you do the same situation, instead of preserving, you can use more because you saved more, and they'll have a lot less available to them. That bit always gets me, especially as a driver. When I go through castle section and I can see how close the wheel gets to the wall, makes me a little bit tender every time. So,
Drake Bell's closing, yeah.
Trying to reclaim his P1 position. And to be honest, he still is provisional P1. As soon as Rick and Astro Boys pit, he's going to be in P1 again. Same for obviously Ferrari's pits. But I think that Drake Bell will actually pass Ferraris before the top two actually pit.
Yeah, the thing is, the top two will need to only pit once. Drake Bell's going to need to pit again, most likely. And he really needs to get in front of Ferraris and close down Rick. Because I don't think these tyres are going to last. It's the end. Rick should be able to do the next... Ooh, very close there from Drake Bell. Rick should be able to do another probably 3 laps before pitting. Maybe a couple more. Just to make it a little bit easier for him on the softs.
Well, Sturk and Rainbow have both come in pits. Yes, their tyres up a little bit. So Sturk's opted for the soft compound and Rainbow's gone to the supers. You said the supers can do around about 15 laps. Do you think they can make it to 16?
Well, depends all on the driver and their setup. Should be worth the risk. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of got to nurse your front wing more than you got to nurse your tyres in this track.
Yeah,
but he should be able to get to the end. We'll find out, won't we?
We will indeed, as Drake Bell is coming up to the fastest section of the track. He's obviously the final sector, and he's really close to the back end of Ferraris, and he's actually not far behind from Astro Boys as well. So maybe not only will he pass Ferraris here, but I think by the end of the next lap, I think he'll actually be right there on the back end of Astro Boys as well.
He might get DRS from Astros if he gets off.
This is it. This is already to cut you. This is an ambitious line as they're coming side by side, going through turn 1. They managed to keep it together and actually minimal contact. And Drake Bell, that was a beautiful overtaking move to get into P2.
Yep.
Rick
has pitted, yeah.
Who was our race leader, has pit.
So he'll be able to go. Should be able to go to the end from here.
On those softs, you reckon?
Yeah. They should do nearly 20 laps, and that'll take him comfortably over. Based on these decisions, I don't think there's going to be rain at any point today. Oh, Drake Bell looking sideways.
Do you want to have a friendly little waver? Oh, JJS, there's another one gone.
Well, it wouldn't make sense to go onto the softs if there's going to be rain. Did he lose it at Castle? Yeah, there.
There was all the debris. Actually, I was watching Ferraris there and the way that he went through Castle. He had my nerves going a little bit, not gonna lie. But look how fast Drake Bell is. He's already on the back end of Astro Boys, and like I said, but now, same situation as last lap. Ferraris is already under threat from Astro Boys. Sorry, Drake Bell's already under threat from Astro Boys. All the way around.
Try, go on, you'll get it.
Yeah. Well, now Astro Boys is under threat from Drake Bell.
3.
And the slipstream being available to him here. The only thing he doesn't really have a great deal of, which Astro Boys does, is ERS. And looking at the way that Astro Boys is currently driving, it doesn't look like he's even going to attempt to defend himself here. I mean, he went defensive on the inside line, but I don't think he's actually going to make
He's actually in mode 0 there. Ferrari's just pitted behind them.
Gonna be a softs, really, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he has to change onto something that wasn't the supers.
And you got a choice of a tyre that will do 6 laps or a tyre that will do 20 laps. One of
To the
which will
end.
make it to the
Yeah.
end in P1. So Drake Bell back in P1 again. He's 7 laps in on these supers. He will have to pit again, whether it be for wet tyres if I'm right and the rain is coming, or it be for another set of supers. Or he could really push it. I mean, it'd be a hell of a push, but he could really push it and make it to so lap 16, lap 17. On the tyres, 17 laps on these tyres, and then switch to a set of ultras again.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably what he's going to be looking to do from this point. In terms of a two-stopper, ultras, supers is the quickest, and that's not going to help Rick's cause. But
No.
yeah, so if he's going to go for a two-stopper, I suspect he's going to pit shortly. Yeah, Ultras, supers actually works out quicker than ultras, supers, ultras. Figure that out.
I don't even want to try. You're the stats man for that reason. You understand that a lot more than I do. But Mr. Zoxon, currently hunting down Blackbird at the minute, is currently sat in mode 0 and does have the RPM button. Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't for me.
Look
Oh,
at you.
behind them as well, you got Sturk on Meta. Gamesmere has left the session. I think you're going to see Sturk make a move on Meta before you're going to see Zoxon make a move on Blackbird, but I could be wrong.
Well, I think you might be bang on the money, as Sturk is already really close to the back end of Meta. Meta just seems really slow going out of the exit ping pong, and here he goes.
But Zoxon is going to get past, there you go.
Blackbird's just a bit too far back to be able to even attempt a defensive move.
And
although
old
Zoxon
tyres.
lost the back end a little bit there.
Oh, a little bit of contact there between Meta and Sturk. Just a little bit of, little kiss.
Oh, little kiss. And actually Meta's trying to go
Oh!
back. Oh, they've come together, now they're in the wall. That is not good for them two. That is one of them needs to stop. I don't think Sturk's wing actually, oh no he has, he's missing an end play on the right hand side. He also doesn't have DRS, but they both lost places.
And that is a deliberate
Whoa.
wipeout. That's Sturk saying goodbye to this league, I believe.
And interestingly, Meta's still in.
Don't know for how long, that was a big incident.
It was. He's going to be very frustrated, but he's going to be it'll be a side of him that is very happy that he survived and the
Yeah.
didn't.
So let's look at some overtakes. Blackbird and Zoxon, possibly. Blackbird's tyres are getting a little bit old. And a little bit locky-uppy. Meta's gone.
As well.
Well, I look forward to reading about that chat later.
Yeah, going to be an interesting one. 11 drivers left in the session. Brownie, not the actual Brownie, this is a reserve driver Brownie, is quite the way down in P13. That's almost a full lap behind the crash that you just saw. Not having a particularly great drive, but remember, in Baku, it's not necessarily about how fast you are, it's about can you make it to the end of the race, as we've already seen that 9 of the drivers couldn't.
Oh, Brownie's going to be 11th. And
It is.
yeah, you've just got to finish. That's going to be the trick today.
So we're nearly at your prediction of how many drivers are going to be out. We only need 3 more to go for it to be bang on yours, and we need another 5 to go in order for it to get mine.
Oh, we've already just got halfway. Yeah, I'm still with Blackbird. He's hanging on the back of Zoxon.
Running really low in ERS though, but actually Zoxon, he's struggling. I mean, he's got more ERS, but he's still really struggling to be able to get some pace down on this track. I think
He brakes really early and catches Blackbird out. Sorry to interrupt there. Every single corner, Blackbird gets caught out by how early Zoxon's braking.
But this will benefit Blackbird because when you get to that corner just before the section into Ping Pong, in 2 corners time now, Blackbird should be able to capitalise on the fact that Zoxen is really early on the brake, and if he can do it, he can brake hard here, get a really close gap onto him. He hasn't really done that.
Nice.
He's actually outside of DRS range, and he's not catching up. Astro Boys has pitted 15 laps in on those softs. I think that might be a little bit too early. I suppose if you're gonna go supers, you don't want to do a small stint on them. Otherwise, you may as well have done ultra softs.
Yeah.
Oh, Blackbird.
Yeah. He's in the window for changing onto the supers now, so it's starting to quiet down now. Now we've only got 11 cars left.
Well, it's calming down, except for the fact that Astro Boys has now just switched onto the super soft compound, and if he's on the supers, he's going to be kicking out a lot more power than what Ferraris and Rick put down. But it's whether or not he's going to be able to keep it clean enough. Like I said earlier, this is a track that isn't his strongest suit by any stretch of the imagination. He is able to be quick on most others. It's just if he can control his own nerves and keep his confidence and focus in the right location. If he can, I like I said, I predicted him to be P3. And he's looking set to do it, at least. We lost another one. James Mirror. Down to 10 drivers left in this session. Oh, there's Astro Boys again, making easy work of Brownie. Obviously Brownie blue flagged anyway. But Drake Bell, our race leader, he's pitting again. This is the second pit stop. It'll be his final one. Where's he going to
It's not made it long enough to go onto the ultras, so he's going to have to go for double supers.
Well, I'm not sure what his situation is going to be like. Obviously, he's lost the place to Rick, and Rick doesn't need to pit again. He can actually just carry on. It does mean, though, that Drake Bell really needs to find the pace. I mean, he does have that. That's his benefit. But it's more of a point of 6 seconds. I think he's easily got that.
Yeah, I think he's got that.
Yeah.
If he does that again, though, he's going to be really careful.
Sorry, I stayed on board with Astro Boy. Let me take a quick peek at Drake Bell.
Drake Bell, just a little kiss of the wall, no damage. But, yeah, especially when you've got these fresh tyres on, making mistakes is really easy.
Yeah, it really is. Obviously, like you said, they're not warm enough to be able to hold the grip down.
He's got a second already. I think this is Drake Bell's.
Yeah. By a country mile as well, though. He's done 2 pit stops, and to still be within almost, it was 6 seconds the gap between him and Rick when he came out the pits.
Yep.
He's already got it down to 5.3, like you said. But he needs to watch those walls. I keep hearing the tyres just scraping the wall.
Well, we'll see if my prediction of Drake Bell will go out with the battling for first will come true. I think I might have said it was a little earlier on, but the prediction's there.
You also said the guys who were in top 3 at the time were going to be out.
Yeah.
One of which is out, but the other 2 are still in at the minute.
And on collision course, effectively, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much. Mr. Mouse on the back end of Mr. Zoxen. They're both on the same compound of tyre, but one has done considerably more laps than the other. And the one that's done the longest stint is actually the one catching up to his teammate. He even got DRS there. This is going to be... Oh, okay.
Let's go back to watch Drake Bell, shall we? See if we can hunt him down. Worth keeping an eye on Astro Boys as well. He's closing down Ferraris. 2.2 between. Yeah. Very similar situation to what we got with these two.
Well, Blackbird is actually really close to the side of Rainbow as they are neck and neck. I think Blackbird is going to be able to hold that. I mean, Rainbow had a little look to see if he could get back down the inside, but he couldn't. Mr. Mouse did leave, but it has rejoined, and he's actually going to come out right in front of these 2 drivers.
Still a bot, though.
Three-way battle for P6.
He needs to take control of his car, otherwise he's going to lose a bit of time. There you go.
Yeah, Blackbird through, but I mean, it could have been worse because he could have actually
There we
lost. He could have lost 2 places. Rainbow could have easily got past him as well, but Rainbow is struggling for speed on this track. Mr. Mouse wasn't. Oh, look at that, we've already had a little switch of route.
Rick must have gone off.
He did. Has he got wing? I mean, he's teleporting a little bit. By a little bit, I mean a lot. He's actually lost 2 places through that teleport there.
I think he might have. He's obviously got connection issues.
Yeah, for definite. I mean, I don't think he was going to get P1 anyway. Drake Bell just had that much pace, but to see this as well is quite sad. It's actually going to bring Astro Boys into a position where he's going to have DRS.
Not this time though.
Did he really not get it?
No.
Oh,
I mean, Rick's got it on Ferraris, but because of this latency, he can't do anything with it. He's gesturing all over the place.
If anyone could do it, Rick is the man. He's a very quick driver. He's just, like I said, Network does let him down quite a fair bit. And I didn't realise that Drake Bell was that quick. Like, when we first saw him in Australia, and even to a certain degree in Bahrain, obviously he did really well in Australia anyway, but it didn't wow me. There was nothing there that really said, wow, this guy's really fast, especially in Bahrain. But
well, you've got to compare him then a bit to Mr. Captain Consistent. He doesn't wow you. He's just consistent. He puts in the time, he races his race, and he gets the results. And that's sort of what Drake Bell's doing. He's just doing what he needs to do. He's just a bit under the radar with it.
He's the Bottas of F1 esports.
No. That assumes he's back as a rear gunner.
A wingman.
Astro
Well,
Boys.
Astro Boys, yeah.
But Rick also has it. It's looking a little more stable now. As I say, that is a massive jerk of the steering wheel.
Astro Boys is closing in pretty quickly. He actually has done a really good job of managing his ERS on this track. I actually find that this track is seriously hard to manage the ERS on.
It's not going to be close enough this time round. Oh.
So, who's going to be the next one to crash out, do you reckon?
Well, let's see what tyres Brownie puts on. If he goes ultras, he might crash out. Supers, interesting. Don't know. Maybe Zoxon with 12-lap old softs, or Rainbow with 9-lap old supers. They'll start to go off the cliff before the end, or towards the end.
So I'm going to go on a whim, and I think Rick is actually going to bin it. Whether it be connection related issues or just driving errors, I think. Oh, Ferraris!
Astro's come down the inside.
Actually getting on the inside. Like, he might be able to make a move down, but no. Rick was just a little bit faster, but now Rick is under threat. Astro Boy is actually already getting through. They're going to make it through ping and pong. Oh, Astro Boy has a cloud with the wall. I don't think he actually lost any wing there, but it looked pretty disastrous. You need to be careful if you're Astro Boys right now. When you've got a driver like Rick just lagging all over the place, it makes it very difficult for you to make an overtake happen.
It's interesting defence is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, sort of. Well, he's done it. He is ahead. Oh, Rick is battling for him. He really wants it. And now actually Rick is going to be having slipstream. Not sure if he's going to be able to... Oh, he's really straight.
I can't watch him. There's the next one.
Slash LP. That was the next one. So now we're down to 9 drivers. Well, we are 1 away from having your prediction bang on the nose. We have 3 away from me having the prediction. Oh, the Blackbird. What's happened there? Mr. Mouse managed to get past him. They need to keep it careful if they want to be able to make anything happen and get some valuable points for the team. I suppose now any driver that does actually crash out, I mean, it has to be, was it 91% of the race completed before they can secure points?
I believe it's 90. Could be wrong on that. It depends. I mean, each league might run their own way of just saying it doesn't matter or whatever.
It doesn't matter. That was a quote for any of you OG WWE fans.
Talking to WWE, are we going to see an absolute body slam on Ferraris here by Astro Boys?
Yes, we are. As he's already cruising past him down the outside, made that look very easy, very simple. Ferrari's had a little look.
That's not a body slam though.
Well, no, it was more like a sleeper hold.
That's nearly a body slam. Ferrari's just went a little bit deep.
He held it. He kept himself out of the wall, but he did lose another place for his troubles.
So Blackbird's still on the rear of Mr. Mouse, and they're coming up to DRS. I think this should be an easy one for Blackbird then.
No, actually.
No.
Fairway back. It does mean it's going to be difficult going through turn 1, although they did keep it clean and they did keep it together. Again, now Mr. Massive is going to be under threat again if he's running a little bit wide. It does mean that Blackbird has a better exit. It does mean he's going to have DRS. And if he wants to, he could have ERS in overtake. And actually, he's
Blackbird
not
has
going to be able
nothing.
to make the overtake happen.
Blackbird's on 20% ERS. It's going to really struggle. Rainbow has pitted for some fresh ultras, so we should see some blistering laps by him. Obviously he's a bit down on everyone else, but you can still get a fast lap and get some bragging rights with it.
Well, I mean, he had nothing to lose really, did he? Because he was already in P8, and the gap between him and P9 is tremendous. So going into the Ultra-Cups is not really going to be anything to worry about. I'm pretty sure I heard a little bit of contact with the wall. I don't know if that was Rick or if it was Ferraris or what, but I did hear a bit of contact.
Who are you watching?
I would just looking at the front runners to see if I could see any wind damage on them. And it doesn't look like Ferraris or Rick has any. Let's see if Astro Boys has some.
I think if you want to look for wing damage, you might want to stay with Mr. Mouse and Blackbird. They're bouncing off curbs, close to walls. Blackbird's going to have another chance here. He's right there. Easy as you like. For now.
Not bad at all.
Ferrari's just caught up and overtaken Rick. So you have a chance to flip onto that one.
And also, Mr. Mouse still punting. Oh, I think Blackbird obviously made the change happen, and now Mr. Mouse is trying to revert that.
Yeah, he is. So Rick has lost a huge amount of time. He's flying back now. He's still there, and he's got 26 seconds over Zoxon. So I don't expect Zoxon to take him, but if Rick is having this much issues, there is a very small chance.
Wow, let's see. Mr. Mouse.
He's starting to fall back a little bit now.
Yeah, not actually keeping. Even though he's on the fresher tyres, Blackbird just seems to be that little bit quicker. But if Mr. Mouse can hold out just a little bit longer just to get through to that side, that home straight.
They get so close to that wall. You might have him here.
Indeed.
He has him, but Blackbird has the inside line and just squeezes Mr. Mouse. Mr. Mouse is going to have the outside line again on turn 2. He's too far back. A little kiss the wall there from Mr. Mouse. Can have another go down into turn 3, is he? No.
He's trying as hard as he can. It's just
Yeah.
something missing from his setup that Blackbird has. I don't know what it is, if I'm honest.
Oh, well, it's not corner casting ability. So Mr. Mouse has got all of that. So, Zoxon's got that gap down to 18 seconds now. It was 26 last time round. So we could actually see Rick missing out quite substantially here. Because if Zoxon gets past, then good chance Blackbird and Mr. Mouse will as well.
Mr. Mouse really struggled on the exit of that corner there. I know he's got the ERS available to him now, and he's going to be... I'm surprised he's not already moved into the overtake mode. He took a long time to get to that point. I think if he'd have just put it in a little bit earlier, I'm not saying he'd necessarily been able to make the overtake happen a bit earlier, but he may actually... Oh, Blackbird closed the line. He has every right to do that.
Well, he was close to the braking zone.
It was
very
one
close.
only defensive move.
Yeah, but you can't make movements in the braking zone. And Blackbird was on the very edge of that. And Blackbird is in the DRS zone of Mr. Zoxon. Zoxon's tyres obviously 17 laps old now. And I think Zoxon's tyres might have run their course. Here's Blackbird right on the tail, they're going out to Castle. Little lock up there from Blackbird and a little clip of the wall.
Zoxon, he's really struggling now. I mean, I know Blackbird and Mr. Mouse have been battling for a while, but you'd have thought they would have slowed down as a result of it. And now with Zoxon, I don't know if he just got a little bit lackadaisical or what, but
His tyres are shot.
you'd have thought they'd have gone a little bit longer than this before they fell like
Well, I did expect so, but or maybe he's doing this as strategy. Maybe backing Blackbird into Mr. Mouse. Zoxon looked very slow there through ping pong. Mr. Mouse. I think Mr. Mouse might have this. And he's getting a tow from his teammate as well for good measure.
Is he going to go through the inside? That's going to be a heavy line. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it.
Oh,
that's a ball.
Still in though.
He is just, but that is not what he wanted. He just slingshot a little bit too hard, and that cost him a front left wing. That is disastrous.
He's got time over Rainbow, but Rainbow does have these ultras on. And Blackbird going down the inside of his teammate, Mr. Zoxon. A little bit of contact. Zoxon holds on for now. So let's see, Mr. Mouse, yeah, he's... See what his wing status is. I imagine the answer is not a lot.
No, I imagine it's
Yeah.
yeah, look, that left wing, the element's missing, end player's missing.
It's just
not
flat.
looking good for him.
It's just a slim piece of carbon fibre doing not a lot.
So Blackbird now on the back end of Zoxon. This is the next battle. He went from battling with one McLaren to now battling with another McLaren. Oh, he's off.
Well, Blackbird's going to be careful because Zoxon's tyres are old and he's going to be braking a little bit early, have a little less grip, and yeah.
I mean, he only has to get past him on this straight. There's no real need for Zoxon to brake unless he was to lift off there through ping pong, which obviously he hasn't yet.
So, I've just been handed a piece of paper from the FIA regarding Sturk Messer incident. Sturk has been banned from the league as a result of that incident.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
There's no reason for retaliation like that. Granted, it was an ambitious dive, but it, you know, it was a dive that didn't require.
I don't think it was a
level of
dive.
fun.
He put his car on the inside. They were level. It was his right. And yeah, it was down to Sturk on the outside to get out of the way. Sturk was behind Meta. But, I mean, we can review it all we want. But yeah. There's no place for retaliation in this. Especially if it cost someone else their race as it did.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
He's obviously got confused thinking this is an online lobby and not a league race. But what's done is done. Back to the racing. Or what's left of the racing. There's only a few corners left for most people. That's
So,
Drake Bell with the
Drake
win.
Bell made it. Astro Boys made it. Ferraris has made it. Them three are obviously going to be the podium winners. Rick is very late to the party, but is coming on home. And Rainbow getting a very late penalty. I know it's going to make a difference.
No.
Okay. And Blackbird now coming through.
You're right there, Rick.
That's why I was like, okay, because he just slammed it into the wall on the right hand side.
I think Blackbird might try it as well.
Unless something drastic happens in the
like a penalty
last lap. Oh, Buxton. Mouse. I need these last three drivers to all crash out right now.
I just need one to crash out. I don't know where Brownie is.
Well, I mean, you've already won because you were the closest.
Yeah, it's not the same though. Oh, what's Mr. Mouse doing? Okay.
That was an interesting little weave there.
Didn't make much sense to me. I mean, Rainbow's doing the same. Oh, he's trying to do donuts. I hope Brownie punts him now. Oh. If Rainbow crashes out or gets a puncture and crashes, I'm 100% on that one.
Yeah. So, Rainbow, if you were listening, please cross the line. Not for just the
Rainbow, this is Jeff. We need you to crash. Confirm you understand.
That's loud.
Sorry.
Very loud. Well, he's slowly coming across the line.
Backwards.
Seems very happy with himself. Oh, please just cross the
There
thank
we
you.
just get it done, please.
Make it to the end.
There we go.
End of that race. So, who is your driver of the day?
It's really cliche to give it to the P1, so I don't want to give it to him. I think
You
it's got.
kind of have to though.
Well, do you?
Yeah, look at the drive he had in
Blackbird. Blackbird.
Okay.
He did some great battling, especially with the two McLaren boys, and he started really low and finished really high. He finished.
Yeah.
He benefited from the incidents.
But if you look at the Drake Bell situation, he started in P1 because he had such a strong performance in qualifying, and then he just nailed a two-stop strategy. He was obviously the only driver in the podium to actually do the two-stop and get away with it. And he didn't just win, he won by quite a large margin. 9.7 seconds separates him from Astro Boys. And, wow. I got two drivers correct in the top three. I got the race winner correct, but I didn't get that Astro Boys would be in P2. I said he'd be in P3. But I still had him, and I'm going to count that as a pretty solid prediction right there.
Fair enough. I was closest on the amount of survivors, though.
Okay, alright.
I'm claiming that one.
Well, thank you, ladies and gents, for joining us here in the World Championship Racing League. We will be back next week with more action. But if you enjoy Formula One,
where are we going
stick
though?
around now because we're going to what next week?
Yeah.
Come
on.
Then it's
Are you looking this up?
Monaco?
No.
No, it's Monaco, isn't it?
No.
Hold on.
You're gonna look it up now.
Azerbaijan. No, I'll do this legit. Australia, Bahrain, China, Baku. France?
No.
Yeah?
No.
No. Definitely not Austria because that's after Canada, I
You
believe.
should know where that one is. I'm just reading your
It's
chat.
Spain. Yes.
Yes, well done, Tomo.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Ah.